Now, dating in your 40s can feel really challenging. Now, if you look at the dating pool in your 40s and beyond, it looks very different than your dating pool in your 20s. Dating in your 20s is all about having a lot of fun, enjoying yourself, and it usually looks a little bit like this. And then once you get into your 30s, people become a little bit more mature, people get a little more serious, but then as your 30s go on, your dating pool starts to look a little bit more like this. And then finally, if you're like one of my newest clients who just joined Love Accelerator, she sent me this meme and I laughed out loud. It was hilarious. She said her dating pool looks a little bit like this. Yikes. Well, fear not, sexy single lady. I am here to help you, and believe it or not, even if you're 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, the dating pool might feel like it looks like this, but if you have the right strategies, you can absolutely attract a high value, high quality man. I promise you. Keep watching. Hey there, Adam LaDolce, founder of LoveStrategies.com, where I help successful single women get out there and attract long-lasting love and do it with a proven strategy. And yes, we have attract women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond attract long-lasting love using our strategies. And in this video, I want to reveal to you 3 of the biggest mistakes that I see women in their 40s and beyond make when it comes to dating. And by the way, before you get all frustrated and say, well, men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond make a lot of mistakes as well, why don't you talk about those mistakes? Well, my response to you is that Love Strategies is for women. Of course men make a lot of mistakes. I used to coach men when it came to dating, and I switched to women about 9 years ago. So I understand that. But before you get frustrated, I'd like you to take your defensive down and let's talk about some of these mistakes that you can actively work on and be aware of. And it's going to drastically improve your results when it comes to attracting love. So let me jump into those. Dating mistake number 1 is just trying to cut through all of the BS of flirting in order to save time. A lot of our clients are very busy professionals. They have a lot going on. They have a lot on their plate, and they don't have a lot of time for dating. So when they go out with a guy for the first time, they don't want to flirt. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They want to cut to the chase and be like, look, bro, what are you looking for? Except they don't say bro because they're over the age of 40 and that would be weird. And in many ways, they get into this interview mode on that date, just trying to see whether or not they are compatible. And they'll get way ahead of themselves. Rather than a first date being fun, enjoyable, building a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of flirtatiousness, a little bit of mystery, they're just jumping way ahead and just talking about all the ways that they might be compatible. And then if they are compatible, usually they'll cut to the chase and just want to sleep with that guy pretty quickly because they want to see if there's sexual compatibility. And look, there's no judgment here. I understand wanting to cut to the chase and just cut through all that stuff. But where you build that real fun, flirtatious connection is on those first couple meetups. And you want to keep that mysterious. You want to keep that fun. You want to keep that playful. It's going to be more enjoyable for you, and it's going to be more enjoyable for him. And it's going to build a stronger bond for the remaining part of your relationship. Dating mistake number 2 is focusing far too much on what you don't want in a man rather than what it is that you do want in a man in a relationship. I was talking to a woman the other day, and offhandedly she told me that she had turned down a date from a guy. And of course, as a dating coach, I asked her why. And she said, well, he's a lawyer. I don't mess with lawyers, okay? So of course I'm like sitting there wondering, why don't you mess with lawyers? And she tells me that because she once dated a lawyer 20 years ago and that guy was a total so no longer does she date lawyers. This is a classic example of hyper-focusing on the things that you don't want. And by the way, this is kind of an irrational thing that you don't want because obviously just because you dated one lawyer, all lawyers aren't. But needless to say, that's focusing a lot on what you don't want. And instead, when we work with clients, we focus on what we call a love vision. This is little love step number 2, where we create a love vision and we get focused on the things that are very important to us, our needs that we need when we are meeting men. What are our deal breakers? What are very important to us? And we have this exercise that our clients go through. And what this does is it leaves our heart open to the right types of guys rather than leaving our heart closed off to the wrong types of guys, okay? It's just a shift in our focus, and it can be incredibly powerful and enlightening. And there's a psychological effect. When you're only focusing on the negative, the things you don't want, usually you end up attracting those things. Rather than when you start focusing on the things that you do want, you start attracting those things. So let's start by practicing right now. Why don't you comment below with one quality that you're looking for in a man. Leave that comment right there below. And finally, the third dating mistake that women over 40 tend to make is just not valuing themselves when they're dating. It can be really easy to fall into that trap of looking at women in their 30s and 20s and thinking, oh, they're so beautiful, they get all the attention from men. What do I really have to offer men in a relationship? And I think it can be really easy to fall into that trap, especially as you get a little bit older. But I'm here to tell you, from a male perspective, having coached a lot of men, that men are deeply attracted to a woman who has, for lack of a better term, her shit together. A woman who is emotionally stable, who is at a point in her life where she's looking for a partnership, who's not looking to play games, who is mature in many ways. That is what you bring to the table among many other things. So don't think that just because you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond, that you don't have a lot to offer. You do. You have so many incredible things to offer, and don't you forget that. So lift your chin up. You got this. Get out there, go make it happen. And if you want a little bit more guidance, feel free to apply to speak to one of my love strategists, where we'll dive deep into your love life and see whether or not our Love Accelerator coaching program is a fit for you. You can apply anywhere. We'll leave some links below, or you can head on over to loveapply.com. Otherwise, we're going to continue releasing a ton of free content for you every single week. So make sure you go ahead and give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll speak to you, you sexy single lady, next week. All right, bye-bye.